Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to customize the Vue TreeGrid rows using a template feature. This is the template design. I have chosen to customize the TreeGrid row. Let me show you the step-by-step process to achieve this. First, I open my existing project where the Syncfusion EJ2 Vue TreeGrid package is installed, and all the necessary TreeGrid modules are configured. I have added the data.js file, which has the hierarchical local JSON data, employee data, with task and subtask details. For the first object, I have added the field's name, designation, and so on, with appropriate values. I've also added the child object with the same fields. I have assigned this object to the dataSource property, and the child records details are configured to the parent records, using the child mapping property. Using the columns directive, I have already mapped a few columns from the data source to be displayed in the tree grid. You can refer to my Vue TreeGrid Getting Started video to learn more about local JSON data binding. I've shared the link for it in the card above and the description below. Let me run this application using the command npm run serve. See, the tree grid is rendered with the local hierarchical data. Let's start with the customization now. As a first step, I will increase the row height to adjust the tree grid row. Include the row height property and set its value to 83 pixels. Then I will keep only 4 columns: employee ID, name, employee details, and date of birth. So, remove the unwanted columns. In this column, remove the field property and change the header text to employee details. In the last column, display the date of birth. You can customize the rows using the rowTemplate property. Assign the template name as Custom Template. Now I will render the template using slots. I add the template tag and use ViewSlot to render the template component. I have provided the template name as Custom Template, so I'll assign the same here. This slot name is unique and useful when you are rendering multiple templates. Next, I add the data scope to the slot to access the component's data source. And then I add a table row tag. From the design you can see, TreeGrid has 4 columns. So, I add the 4 table data tags with class name border. The first column displays employee ID. So, I'll add the span tag and access the employee ID field from the data source using the data scope. And set the style padding left to 18 pixels to this tag. Notice here, the second column displays the employee's name with their designation. Here, I set the inline style, padding. In the content division tag, set style font size to 14 pixels. Then, I use the data scope to access the name field from the data source. Next, I add a paragraph tag with the inline style, font size set to 9 pixels. And use the data scope to display the designation field from the data source. Then in the style element, I define the border class with styles like line width, line style, and color. Check the tree grid's first 2 columns, employee ID and name, are rendered based on the template design. Let's continue with the other 2 columns. In the third column, I'm going to display the address, country, and contact with an image. I add the content division tag, which acts as a wrapper. I add another content division tag, which acts as a wrapper for the image, and set the styles like position relative and display inline block. In the image tag, add the source to access the Syncfusion demo image based on the data source field, full name, and alternate text. To display the employee address and other details, add a content division tag with style as display inline block. Add 3 content division tags, with style as padding 5 pixels. In the first one, display the address using the data scope. In the next one, display the country. In the last one, display the contact using data scope. Also in the style, define the font size as 12 pixels. Check the employee details column. The employee's address, country, and contact are displayed with an image. Lastly, I display the date of birth. I add inline style as padding left at 20 pixels. Inside the span tag, I display the date of birth by accessing the data source field using Datascope. Checking the tree grid now, the rows are rendered based on the template specified. Notice here, the default date value is shown for the DOB field. Let's see how to format the date value. I import the internationalization class from the Syncfusion EJ2 base package. This class provides support to parse and format number and date objects to the desired format. I declare a variable, object, and create an instance for the internationalization class. In the methods object, I define the method format. Here, I pass each date value. Using the internationalization object, call the format date method. Pass this date value as the first argument, and for the second argument, pass an object with skeleton YMD. And the type is date. And in the span tag, replace the expression with this method. Now in the tree grid, the provided short date format is applied to the DOB column. Here's a quick recap of what we have seen so far. I showed you how to design a custom layout for Vue Tree Grid rows using a template feature. You can download a working example from the GitHub link in the description below. In the description, I've also provided a link where you can see if you're eligible for our community license, which will provide you a free license key to use our products. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this video useful, give it a like and subscribe to our channel.